Get ready with me story time on how it went at my school camp. I'm not sure if you guys saw one of my shorts, but I just basically mentioned that I will be going to a military school. And since I'm new to the school, it was mandatory for me to go to the school camp. I was only there for 2 nights. Oh my gosh, it was such a pain in the butt. It was basically like basic training. Oh my gosh, look at this. This is so disgusting. I mean, after all the students who were at the camp were new. So yeah, and to those of you who were in the real military, you should know what it's like in basic training. Constantly being yelled at, push-ups as a consequence, etc. So like, I had to hold my SOP a certain way, like literally, like this. So my arm parallel to the ground, like this, right? And since my arm was drooping a little bit like this, so I had to do some push-ups, literally. Some crazy things happened too. So like, it was only my first night at camp, and the female sergeants had said to all the females that were, well, the new females, right? It's all of us in the room, like, oh, you shouldn't be talking or doing cartwheels, etc. And yet, what do you know? Some of the girls were doing that. Like, about half an hour went by, it was quiet, and then the girls just started talking all of a sudden. That they just then went all like, right, and then they just started going, oh, let's do a WAP dance, and yeah, they were like, you know, like moving around the room and stuff. And then eventually I fell asleep. Yeah, but I was literally thinking to myself, like, while I was trying to go to sleep, like, why are these girls doing this? Because, like, you know, female sergeant said, like, if they had caught us talking, or if we did, like, any of those things, well, not just talking, you know, like doing cartwheels, all that, then we were gonna have to do push-ups the next morning. So it's like, just why would you girls do that? Yeah, like, they were even arguing over some stupid stuff and like cussing. And so then the next day, a girl in my flight group is telling me, I guess this was going on when I was already sleeping, where like one of the girls put a flashlight in her face and they were mocking her. So yeah, then our flight commander overheard our conversation that he then asked the girl what she was saying. And so she then repeated to our flight commander what she was telling me about what happened last night. So then our flight commander went to go tell some of the female sergeants about it, and then later that night, oh no, not good. So yeah, one of the female sergeants yelled at us about us, saying, oh, I was just informed right now about what happened last night, like, and you know, stuff like that, right? And yeah, so then she's like, why were you guys dancing around doing cartwheels? Because the girl, she did mention too that the girls were apparently doing cartwheels. So she's saying like, oh, why were you guys doing cartwheels and stuff and talking when you guys should have been sleeping? But yeah, and apparently their excuse was that they couldn't sleep because of the storm. I mean, after all, there was a storm on the first night. But yeah, and then the female sergeant told us, like, she doesn't want to hear this whole, like, incident. She doesn't want to hear that this whole thing happens again. Like, well, she specifically mentioned about putting the flashlight in someone's face. But yeah, she was saying, yeah, she doesn't want to hear anything like that happen again. And of course, just like the night before, they said too, like, if you guys do any of that when you guys should really be sleeping, you're gonna have to do push-ups the next morning. Like, I was even thinking to myself too, like, how were those girls, you know, who were talking, doing the cartwheels and all that, just how were they not intimidated, you know, by the female sergeants? I mean, especially with all that yelling and the fact that they even told us too that we were gonna have to do push-ups. Like, I just don't get it. But yeah, so I'm even surprised that we didn't even have to do the push-ups the next morning after what the female sergeants were told by our flight commander. So, but yeah, so that's what happened.